Welcome back, Shapers of the Future. Back with another episode. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for the feedback and the comments. Um, it's great to have feedback of any kind. Please pop it in the old comments there, as I like to have criticism because I want to get a little bit better if I can at these things. My technology lets me down. Um, not the richest man in the world, to be honest. My technology lets me down. Hopefully, we'll be sorting that out in the future. But let's just try and make do for now with what I've got, which is basically an iPad, a bit of old iPad at that. So maybe I should change this channel to camping in the woods with budget technology for YouTube. I don't know. You may have noticed I'm wearing this silly thing which keeps getting in the way, but hopefully that's bringing you a little bit closer to my mouth because I'm having audio issues. But let's crack on. Today I'm just going to give you a little look around my little camp, show you a few things. There might be a few tips here, there might not. Either way, I just sit back, relax, and enjoy. A piece of fat wood there caught straight away. The shavings didn't. Just landed a lucky spark, I guess. But that seems to be okay. I don't like to touch the flame once it's going. Just let it do its thing. There's plenty of charcloth and fat wood shavings in there, small and medium grades. Yep, and then as you can see, that's away. There is a bit of previously burnt wood, but there's ash and oak in there. Should be a nice long, slow burning, hopefully. We won't have to pay much attention to it, I hope. At the moment, it's all about letting the air get to it. So, door open, vents, trying to get as much air flow. And I guess I better start putting something in my pot. Great little pot, zebra or zebra, whatever you might want to call it. It seems to be a popular choice, and rightly so. You can, of course, raise it and lower it. I've just got a very simple little system here. I have used the stick method, which I should have used really, but this kind of does the job. If I bring you in closer, you might be able to make out a few more details. My charcloth tin, which is always near my fire. I have this little utensil, which is highly sophisticated piece of metal shoved into a bit of wood, just so I can lift the lid off and stuff like that. Check it. I have my spoon ready, which I'd actually better get my coffee ready. Here is some highly flammable material that I've got in this little moisturizing tin. It's a mixture of Douglas fir sap and fat wood and a few other little bits and pieces. It's very flammable. Now, because they've quite big chunky pieces on there, it's taken quite a while for it to get going. So I'm going to speed it up a little with my fan. It's all about airflow, obviously, and providing this amount of air is kind of like nitro for it. Now when I switch it off, you can see that it's looking a lot more healthier. That was a lot of huffing and puffing avoided. I have got another little device here. It's just an old telescopic aerial that you can blow in to the embers. I find it very good, very useful, and takes no space. Yeah, just another little piece I put in my survival tin, along with the Theros rod, some cotton wool, and other random stuff. So, cracking on with the coffee. I have mentioned this before. I'm not the fussiest person when it comes to tastes. I just go for a cappuccino. I use half of one of these so that I can have twice the amount of them. Basically, I like to drink probably a coffee every hour or two. And that way, I don't need to bring half the supermarket with me either. And that is a small cup. The cup, however, is aluminium. It's double layered, so that is, I've found, the most important thing. It can keep this very, very warm, considering, and also it's straight. If you have angular cups, it's obviously going to get colder quickly on the thinner parts. Whereas if it's straight, you've got no issues. So straight, preferably um, insulated, like this is, by having two pieces of metal, and there's a gap in between. Just keeps it hotter for longer. I'll just give it another quick plus because I am very thirsty. I can say it's quite ferocious. So at this stage, I like to close the door, if at all possible, because it's starting to warp. There we go. Just make sure that the bottom is nice and clean so that the airflow comes in through the bottom. And now we should have a good boiling effect going on. I did put too much water in, but rather more than less. Just going to leave that off slightly so I can hear it. Over the back here we've got grills that I use. I've found you can place them on top of two bricks and that'll sit just above this stove. That'll sit around there on two bricks, which is perfect for putting larger grills on like these. I have this hook device to hold the pot up. It's just, you don't want your rope burning really, do you? That's the only reason for that, and it's relatively simple. It shouldn't let go of it anyway, and that's the main thing. I do recommend one of these things, which is basically a fire retardant mitten for ovens and things like that. You can find them. They're very, very thick, and they take a long time and a lot of heat before you start to notice it. So that is well and truly boiled. And I just do that to unhook it. Because I've made these clips here, I can just push the clip onto it like that, and then tip it any way I like without worrying about it. As handles often go to the sides and things, they can be a little bit awkward. I mean, you can lift it up, but I just find these bits of metal easy. It's a little bit fiddly making them, but there's a lot of guides out there for it. And it might take several attempts to get it exactly right. That's what I found. But it will hold the lid on as well as hold the handle up, right position. So we just put that away, stop any rubbish getting in there, let it cool down, hopefully. Yeah, that needs sugar. I'll put the glove over the back there. This is another grill here which I've made. This one you can hang just like you do with the pot above the fire to whatever height you want. It's just got 4 bits of wire with little what if, I don't know what they're called, key ring hobs or something, little bits of metal, and then just some garden wire, I believe. And the grill I found rather cheap. But yeah, it's a handy piece of kit. Yeah. The spoon I made, it's got a little bit of a Viking theme to it, I think. Or Normans. I'm not sure, but I just can't sit still. So I'm one of those people that are forever busy. I find it hard to relax. So I often whittle away at a piece of wood or something. I've made a little workstation, which I shall show you next, which might be a little bit more interesting than this area. I have got other pans, old Trangia sets, and a hot plate, basically. An old tin just for chucking in fat wood and stuff, make tar, and lots of bricks and on a concrete base, so it's nice and safe. This is just a standard tripod with the full tripod not on top. People say these stoves burn through wood a bit too quickly for their liking. Obviously, you can do lots of things about that. Put on chunkier bits, twigs it's going to fly through. Then, of course, the other option is to stove off the airflow to it, which I always do, and that'll not push so much air up. You might get a little bit more smoke. This is quite smokeless on the whole, because all of the wood is contained in the firebox, so there's no ends that are slowly burning. giving off smoke. So that's basically all I do, and that will slow it down. The other thing is that the best woods you can use for these boxes, I think personally, is the oak and the ash trees, which are nice slow burning wood. If you've got chunks of it this size on here, it's going to last a long time. And then the oak is known for its embers, which are great for prolonging the ability to have fire there. I will leave that now until it sort of slowly stutters out, but that will be very easy to get that kicking back up again next time I want a cup of coffee. So we'll move on. So here we have the workbench area. I'll move you in a little bit closer. So I'll give you a quick rundown. My saws, I love bow saws mainly, but there is at the back here a buck saw. I don't know if you can quite make that out. And another bow saw with much larger D frame on it so that it can take on bits of log like this big thing here. This is actually my cutting bench for firewood, and also I use it to chop wood on as well. It's a piece of oak that was a couple of years down, but there's plenty of life in it still. It takes a long while to disintegrate oak, it seems. I took the bark off because it was very destroyed. It's all wedged in so it can't move, and if we put these down here, it's literally a simple case of doing this. This is a piece of fat wood, which is not very nice for sawing. I've picked the wrong example here. There we go. And yeah, this is where I do all my sawing. I'm sat on what is at the bottom underneath two huge logs that were cut down nearby. They were Scots pine, and also this big piece here was the base of a Scots pine. This is only half of the diameter. The core of it is right there, so it would have been way out here in size. Huge thing. So I managed to scavenge this and use this as my bench. It won't last forever, I don't think, because the grain is very thick and it'll come off in chunks with time. I don't know whether I'll preserve it or not. You can see it splits at the grain quite easily, but it's a fair thickness, so yeah, as I say, I might treat that with some linseed oil and some yacht varnish. Another tip, don't buy the yacht varnish from Homebase or B&Q. It's ridiculously overpriced. It's 4 times the price if you go to a 50p shop, and so long as it's got polyurethane in it, then you're going to end up with a varnish which is pretty much like what you get on school desks. Very thick, solid desk, or very thick, solid layer to protect the wood further. That's what I will be doing with my newly made axe handle, which was out of ash. There was a knot in it, but it's down the bottom there, so it's not an issue. I've basically put a wedge in the middle to flay the top out, and I have chucked everything I can at this axe, and it's took it. I've hit it with the biggest piece of wood I could find and lift on the axe head and on the handle, and it done nothing. Ash is beautiful for this kind of thing. I need to linseed oil it and get some yacht varnish on it as quick as I can. But worst comes to worst, I'll make another one. Thankfully, there's quite a lot of ash around here. Lots of various saws. I like to use saws more than the axe, really. I sit on one of this piece of foam mattress stuff that roll mats. I like using these. I find them very handy to have them cut up into strips and have them put together separately or whatever you like. You've got more options than a roll mat has. New addition is this vice. It's a Stanley vice. It was my dad's suggestion. So, well, why don't you use your vice, boy? I was like, well, bloody hell, didn't think of that. So yeah, I've got a vice now, which is amazingly handy. It's an extra hand, isn't it? And a very strong hand at that. Very strong hand, much stronger than mine. So I can now use my planes and shaving tools and lots of other things. It opens up a whole world, that little thing. Haven't even really thought about it much yet, but quite exciting. Good old rasper. Featured it many times. Fantastic for getting very, very fine pieces of wood or for removing quite a large amount of wood. Either either. And it collects it for you in this little chamber. So, and it's small. Nuts and bolts. A brick, which again you can use the V to put pieces of wood in. So I could then extend this over here, say, and have it going across from there to there. It's just a handy addition. Paintbrush, brand new. I find if I can get away with a paper airbud on small projects, I would, especially with the yacht varnish, as it's horribly sticky stuff and it's a bugger to get off your brush, and you have to use all kinds of chemicals and things. So I think the best way is paper airbuds, and just paint it on with a paper airbud. You might need 2 or 3, but they're paper, lots more environmentally friendly than this thing is, and the actual varnishes, but never mind. I've got a wooden wedge. I've got 3 of these in total. 2 are over there somewhere. Not sure exactly where. I do a lot of splitting big wood, and wooden wedges of various widths can be essential. And several chisels, just 3 different sizes, up to 1 inch, as you can see. And another thing for chopping wood, this butter knife, put an edge on it, and yeah, you can split wood, small wood, with that. And a little trimming blade. Really, it's just nice to have something to whittle with, and that basically does it for me. It was good quality butter knife, found in a second-hand store, and just chopped it up and sharpened it. I have a lot of uses for this garden wire. I find this essential to have, really, for a lot of different reasons and things. So here's it, different angle on my workbench. As I say, it's quite solid. It's good enough. This is a piece of ash I'm working on. As you can probably guess, I'm trying to make a bow. It's the first time. I've never tried before, apart from when I was a boy. There is knots in it that are going to be issues, but first time I'm not expecting much. It's just something to have a go at now and again, really. Doesn't have to be a success. it's all working towards maybe getting a successful bow. I wouldn't ever shoot anything. It would be purely just trying to hit a target. I am Sagittarius, the archer. Anyway, we have the handsaw. We have a pruning saw at the back there, quite a long pruning saw, which I've just slapped onto a piece of wood really, with an extension. So you can get to the branches. We have a wedge here, which I've measured to be 30 degrees in angle. I just like to have that 30-degree angle to sharpen my axe with. And a wedge like that is handy to have to get the right angles with things. And that pretty much covers the workstation. So this is the back of the chair of the lounge. Obviously big rucksack. It's an 80 plus 20 100-litre rucksack. It opens this way, which I find amazingly handy. You can just fit so much more stuff in it when it's packed properly, rather than trying to stuff it down from the top. You can take advantage of that whole space. And when I come here, this is literally as full as it can get. So move that side. Got a couple of these lanterns either side here of the back of my chair. You can see I've got a paracord stretched across for a backrest. It's just so easy and simple. There's other ways of doing it, obviously, but I find that quite comfortable, really. This here is a beautiful piece of ash. I'm just getting a little bit drier. That I found, obviously dead, probably a year or two. But we take this off. I'll try and show you it. Yeah, you can see it's gorgeous. It's not much knot in there. Couple knots maybe. This is another piece of ash, and this is solid. This has got a lot of weight to it. This, however, whilst it is in a beautiful bow shape to make a bow with, naturally, the curve on that, I mean, it screams out a bow, doesn't it? So that is an ongoing project. I'll keep you informed with that. But I love this piece of wood, and I need to put it in under the canvas. Now we move to the seating kitchen area where the food is. Also other pieces. First aid kit. Got everything you need in that, apart from maybe a nurse. Swiss Army knife. At the moment it's got the lock blade on that I created, so it locks the blade, it won't fold on your fingers. Hand sanitizer. That gets rid of that sticky sap. That's largely alcohol in there, which is what you want. A little knapsack just for going exploring with and collecting things in. Tonight's supper we have got some gorgeous little steaks, and we've got a potato I'm going to try and cook in the zebra pot, so that'll be quite interesting. Roast potato in zebra pot. And we have some garlic butter to go with the potato, but also I am going to collect another couple of those amanita mushrooms and have a mushroom burger tonight. I was trying to think of something that could go with mushroom, and the only thing that sprung to mind was garlic. So I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, mushroom burgers. Sounds appealing, I don't know why. The chair is a simple one. It is just 2 logs, keeping 4 bits of birch on, yeah, 4 pieces of birch, and then lots of these cut pieces of roll mat, and it's comfortable. It's very comfortable. Obviously, it's a blanket that can be used if you need a bit of work area, or if you go out and have a cup of tea somewhere else, picnic styley. Over here is technology and stuff: phone, battery packs, polymorph. A rag is always handy to have, and that covers. Oh, there's a grabber as well, because getting older, and nothing wrong with having a grabber. So from the lounge, we go to what I would call my shed, really. It's just a cheap tarp, £16. It's lasted so far very well. It's been, 4 to 5 months so far, and not really any signs of strain or wear yet. As I say, it's kind of like a shed. If it's raining, I've got a very small tent, and I don't want to be stuck in it. So I can come in here, still work away at pieces of wood and things, and whatnot. Keep wood dry as well. So it's like a wood store. Not very stocked up at the moment, so I need to get to work on that. There is a wall at the back there, made of logs. You might be able to make out. And then we have my tent, which is very small, perfect for 1 person. Not much fun if you want to have a party. It's really only for sleeping in. It's a very small tunnel tent. I know you can get a lot smaller, but this is as small as I'd like to go personally.